Thank you, Chairman Brady, and thank you all for being here. What an exciting day to be in Illinois and a Republican and to be at the State Fair. You know, in 1993, we had a president who tried to pass his own version of a stimulus bill, who tried to pass his version of a BTU energy tax bill, who tried to pass his version of a health care takeover bill, and who was successful at passing numerous tax increases as a result. That president in 1993 made a mistake. He took his election as a mandate and justification for a very left-wing liberal agenda. And what did the people do? They took House and Senate seats away from him. They took control of the House of Representatives for the first time in 40 years in our country's history. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's deja vu. We have a president now who time after time after time and his majority have refused to listen to the will of the people, have refused to do what the people have asked, and who mistakenly took his election victory as a mandate on a very left-wing ideological agenda. And so what are we to do? We need to take House and Senate seats away from them and restore Republicans in the majority in the United States Congress. After that election in '94, of course, the president was basically limited to his ability to sign Republican bills. Things like welfare to work that Republicans pushed through in the Congress. And of course he had his pet projects like school uniforms and V-chip and others, but much of his liberal agenda had been stalled dead in its tracks as a result of those midterm elections. And that is exactly the message that is being sent on congressional races all across the country. In 2010, Illinois was the epicenter of the election of Barack Obama as President of the United States. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe Illinois will once again be the epicenter in 2012 as America makes a correction and America reestablishes the tried and true two-party system, both here in Illinois and across the nation. Races like Adam Kinzinger, Randy Hultgren, Joe Walsh, Bob Dole, and yes, even next door, the next Congressman Bobby Schilling, who's going to finally defeat the big tax and spend, gun grabbing, I don't care about the Constitution, Phil Hare, is starting to meet his Waterloo. Even guys like Isaac Hayes and Joel Pollak in a state like Illinois have people like Jesse Jackson Jr. and Jan Schakowsky on the run. And you know if it's happening in Illinois, it's happening all across the country. And so it's important upon each one of us to do what we can to restore that balance so needed in our country. But you know, this isn't just about Washington, D.C. It's not just about how awful things are in our nation's capital. We know all too well how awful things are here in our state capital. And just as we need to take seats away from the U.S. majority in the House and the Senate, we need to take seats away from the State House and Senate majority as well. As we get ready for the retrial of our illustrious Governor Rod Blagojevich, let's be mindful of one thing. Let's not let the news media let this majority and this party who has dominated this state for the greater part of a decade in every branch of government get off scotch-free. Both parties have had bad apples. But there's not a person here today that would suggest that in 2000 that we were going to renominate then Governor George Ryan. But when you look at the re-election of then Governor Rod Blagojevich, who in 2005 I said publicly in headlines of the paper was the most corrupt governor in the state of Illinois, you knew it, I knew it, and guess what? The majority of the state legislature, Senate, and statewide constitutional officers knew it as well. systematic shakedown and pay-to-play government alive and well in Springfield. But what did the majority do? Nearly every statewide office holder who holds office today, every legislative leader, every state house and state senate candidate who was running on the Democratic ticket, did they espouse him? Did they run from him? Did they denounce him? Did they criticize him? No. They campaigned for him, they endorsed him, and they ran arm in arm with Rod Blagojevich for his re-election. So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to remind the voters today exactly how Rod Blagojevich won re-election and who helped him get there. Because just as there's accountability in the courtroom, there ought to be accountability at the polling booth. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have the opportunity for accountability at the state level and the national level as well. And for the sake of you, the future generations of America, we need to take this opportunity and be a part of history. And I look forward to doing that with all of you. With us here today, we have a number of these congressional candidates who have taken the time to come down here. If you're not tied into one of their campaigns, get involved. If you're not volunteering, get involved. And if you haven't written a check, write a check. Please come on down. Roy Warringly in the 1st District of Illinois. Randy Holtgren in the 14th District of Illinois. Isaac Hayes in the 2nd District of Illinois. Mike Bendis in the 3rd District of Illinois. Israel Vasquez in the 4th District of Illinois. Joe Walsh in the 8th District. And the next congressman from the 17th District, Bobby Schilling. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your new Republican majority. This is your new Republican delegation in Illinois. God bless.